So you may have heard the story of the prodigal son over and over again. And I wanted to point out at least two different elements of the story that are kind of unique to the listeners of Jesus back then. They may not seem to make a whole bunch of meaning for you now, but they do. So first off, the son comes up to the father and says, you know, can I get my half of the inheritance now? And I think we always think about, Jesus stories and Jesus words, and it's all a little bit highfalutin, kind of, antiseptic, and it sounds like the son goes up to the father, and goes, "Oh, father, may I have my portion of the inheritance now? Could that be possible, father? Please, 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 pretty please." That's not what it probably sounded like. Try to put your ears around this and see if that probably is more what it sounded like. Think of it more in modern day language. Yo, old man, I wish you were dead. 'Cause if you were dead, I'd get my money now. Can you help me out with that, man? Give me my money now. 'Cause I can't wait for you to be dead. That's probably what it probably sounded closer to that. So that's pretty rough. And yet the kid still got the money. First part of the story. Another part later on in the story is after the kid has wasted all the money, the lost son has gone off and he's spent all the money in all different ways, and he's now broke, and a famine has come upon the land, and now he's taken up and he's working for a pig farmer and feeding pigs and hungering for the food that pigs are eating. That's I don't know if you've ever been around pigs. I don't know if you've had much experience with pigs, but pigs are pretty rough, pretty stinky, nasty. Okay, but it's even more than that. For back in Jesus, that's nowadays, but even back in Jesus's time, I mean, no one could. We didn't have ovens, and we didn't have thermometers and that kind of stuff back in Jesus's day. So if you didn't cook a pig real properly, you risked the chance of being poisoned, because there's all sorts of stuff that can go bad on a pig for you, and you would end up being poisoned. This would be very sad. I mean, no pepperoni, no sausage, no bacon. Uh, you come up with a whole list. That's three of my faves. Okay, so no eating pig because you would die. That's a whole consequence. So there's this Jewish guy, and he's only dealing with stuff that could be used for leather and that kind of stuff. Um, you know, and he's feeding these pigs, and it's the low of the low. With the son, there's a difference here in terms of what you desire, give me the money now, and what you deserve. It's the youngest son. There's still an older son. Okay? The younger sons don't get inheritances as much as older sons do back in that day. The older son got the family name, got everything. The younger son's asking for his now and wants his now. It's what he desires. It's not necessarily what he deserves. I'm inviting you to place yourself in the role of prodigal son. Are there times that you desired something that you didn't necessarily deserve? And how did that situation end up working out for you? So, young people, parents, you may already have a clue about your young people stories, but let them come up with it on their own. Young people come up with stories, but parents, you too. There's been times that every one of us has desired something, but we didn't necessarily deserve it at that moment, at that time, ever. Is there something that you desired that you didn't deserve. Because if that's the case, and you made choices not unlike the lost son, the prodigal son, then you may have been lost on what was important at that moment, and you may have been in need of God's mercy. That's our first week. Come back for our second week where we take a look at that older son.